Billionaire's daughter saw an old man crying in his car. What she slipped onto his windshield changed his life. The old man's shoulders were shaking. He sat alone inside a beat-up brown Toyota, parked behind the giant shopping mall. His hands covered his face. He wasn't just crying, he was sobbing. People walked past him. Nobody stopped, except one girl. A girl wearing a black hoodie, carrying a small red envelope. She stepped closer, slowly, quietly, and placed the envelope under his windshield wiper. Then she whispered, "I hope this helps you, sir." The old man didn't see her. He only saw the envelope when he finally lifted his head. And when he opened it, he gasped. Then he shoved his car door open, stumbled out, and started running, but not away. He ran toward the mall entrance, toward the girl, with tears pouring down his face. "Wait, please, where are you?" People stared at him in confusion. He dropped to his knees. He was holding the envelope in the air with both hands inside it. Was something no one expected to see. 3 hours before that moment, Maya Grant sat in the back seat of a black SUV, staring out the window. Yes, she was the daughter of Samuel Grant, the billionaire owner of Grant Tech Industries. Yes, she lived in a mansion. But today she wasn't wearing diamonds. Just jeans, sneakers, hoodie. Why? Because she had run away from her father's charity gala. She hated fake charity dinners. People dressed in gold, pretending to care about the poor while eating $600 steak. Her father would kill her if he knew she left. But Maya didn't care. She had taken one envelope with $10,000 inside, not for herself. She wanted to give it to someone who really needed help, but she didn't know who. Not yet. The SUV stopped at the mall. Her driver said, "Miss Grant, the gala is in the opposite direction." "I know," Maya said. "I won't be long." She walked toward the mall, but something strange caught her eye. A brown Toyota, old, rusty. Inside it, an elderly man was holding something in his hand, a folded paper. He read it. Then, he pressed it against his chest and started crying, not quiet crying, broken crying. Maya froze. Something inside her felt, pulled this. This was the person who needed the envelope. She walked closer, but not too close. Her heart was racing, not because she was scared, but because she knew what her father would say if he saw her doing this. "You can't just hand out money. They'll take advantage. You are a Grant. You must protect our reputation." Maya ignored those thoughts. She reached into her bag, took out the red envelope, wrote one sentence, then stepped forward and gently placed it under the man's windshield wiper. She didn't want him to see her. She didn't do this for attention. She turned to walk away. Then she heard it, a sound that made her stop. The man sobbed so hard he could barely breathe. He whispered, "God, I just needed one miracle today." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to run back and hug him, but she kept walking because it wasn't about her. It was about him. She took 5 steps, 10, then, behind her, a car door slammed open. She heard running, heavy, desperate footsteps and a broken voice shouting, "Please, wait! Who did this?" Maya stopped, turned her head slightly. The old man was now outside the car, holding the red envelope like it was made of glass. He was looking around like a man drowning. People stared. Nobody moved, except him. He dropped to his knees and begged, "Just let me thank you, please." His voice cracked. Maya's breath caught. And then, a black luxury car swerved into the parking lot. Not her SUV, a different one. And a tall man stepped out wearing a suit. Her father, Samuel Grant. His voice exploded across the lot. "Maya Grant, what have you done?" The old man looked up. He froze. Then his face went pale. He whispered, "Grant?" Maya stared at her father in shock. "How did you find me?" Samuel stepped forward, grabbed the red envelope from the old man's hand. He opened it, saw the money, read the note. His eyes turned cold. "Do you have any idea what you just did?" Maya whispered. "Yes." But she had no idea that inside that envelope was something much more powerful than money. The next morning, the city woke to a soft rain. But Lucas Hart didn't care about the weather. He sat inside his small apartment, clutching the envelope like it was made of gold. He hadn't slept. His hands shook as he opened it. Finally, inside was not money. It was a handwritten letter and a private invitation with a golden seal. The letter read, "Mr. Lucas Hart, you don't know me, but I know what it feels like to hide pain. You lost your job. You lost your wife. You think the world forgot you, but I didn't. I saw you. Come to the address on the card tomorrow at 12 p.m. You are not alone. The girl who believed you still matter." Lucas stared at those words. He had no idea if this was help or some cruel joke, but something inside him whispered, "Go." The next day, 12 p.m. exactly, Lucas stood outside a modern glass building, the kind of place he once dreamed of working in. He looked down at his old shoes. He almost turned back, until a voice said, "Mr. Hart?" A security guard smiled at him. "You're expected inside, sir." Expected? Lucas followed the guard through golden doors, into a giant auditorium packed with people in suits. A banner read, "Hartwell Industries Annual Charity Presentation." He froze. Hartwell. That name sounded familiar. Before he could understand what was happening, a woman walked on stage. A woman in a simple blue dress. The same girl from the parking lot. The audience went silent. She stepped up to the microphone. "Good afternoon, my name is Emily Hartwell. For years, my father has asked me to stay quiet and let the company run itself. But yesterday, I met someone who reminded me what our name should stand for." Lucas's heart stopped. She continued, "I saw a man crying in his car, not because he was weak, but because life had been too cruel. For too long." People leaned forward, listening. He didn't ask for help. He didn't complain. He just sat alone, believing nobody cared. Her voice shook. "So I decided to care." She turned toward Lucas, dead center spotlight. "Mr. Lucas Hart, would you please come to the stage?" 1,000 heads turned. Lucas stood frozen. People started clapping. He walked slowly toward the stage. Trembling, confused, Emily held out her hand. "Mr. Hart, you once worked as a project manager for 8 years. You were fired not for lack of skill, but because your company collapsed. You cared for a sick wife until she passed, and now you work odd jobs just to survive." Lucas looked at her, stunned. "Wh- Who told you all that?" "I did my homework," she said softly. "Before my father died, he told me something. Find people who aren't seen. Help them before the world notices their worth. Yesterday, I found you." The audience watched in total silence. Emily held up a file. "This is a permanent job offer, full salary, medical coverage. But that's not all." She stepped aside. Behind her was a huge check, $250,000, to Lucas Hart to start over. People gasped. Lucas's knees buckled. I can't. I'm nobody." Emily grabbed his hand. "No, you are exactly the kind of person who deserves a second chance kind. Broken maybe, but still good." Lucas covered his face and wept openly on stage. The crowd rose to their feet. Standing ovation. For the first time in years, he felt seen after the event. Lucas and Emily stood outside the building under light rain. "Why me?" he asked quietly. Emily smiled. "Because the world needs more people who still cry and still hope." She placed something in his hand. It was the same windshield note, but she had added one last line. "Sometimes the people we think are forgotten are the ones God is getting ready to lift the highest." Lucas hugged her, gently, like she was a miracle he didn't deserve. "Thank you," he whispered. Emily smiled, teary-eyed. "Don't thank me. One day, you'll do this for someone else." Moral lesson of the story: kindness doesn't always need money. Sometimes it only takes seeing someone the world ignores. One small act can rewrite a broken life. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and comment. I believe in kindness. Your engagement helps YouTube show this story to more people who need hope today.